I think that a lot of people, like, they have a lot of strong emotions that are on the surface, and they have some strong emotions that are buried in there, right? And I would never say to a person to suppress their emotion. Listen, we all react. But the question is, how long? How long are you going to react? Really, that's the question. Look at a kid, right? A child just has a reaction, 10 minutes, they're over it, and they're back, for the most part, playing and doing whatever. And I think the greatest thing we can teach children is that kind of emotional intelligence to kind of shorten their emotional responses. So I never say to a person, don't react. I will say to them, how long are you going to react for? Because if you have an event in your life that creates an emotion and you don't regulate that emotion, it lasts for hours or days, that's called a mood. It's one long emotional reaction. You say to the person, why are you in a mood? I'm in a mood because of this thing that happened to me 7 days ago. If they keep the same emotional reaction going on for months, weeks to months, that's called a temperament. The person just has an angry temperament. Why are you angry? I had this event happen to me, 9 months ago. It goes on for years on end. That's a personality trait. That personality trait is really based on an experience or series of experiences that create that emotion, right? And then a person just memorizes their emotion. They're having one long emotional reaction, and now they're looking for it. They're looking for a reason to be angry. They're looking, not consciously, they're looking for a reason to judge, right? Because it reaffirms their belief in themselves and how they believe, what they believe about life. So when a person's sitting in a meditation and there's 2,000 people in the audience and their eyes closed and everything's there's music playing and they have some instructions, and all of a sudden here comes this agitation, here comes this resentment, here comes this impatience, and the body is revving up, right? That's when the person typically says, I can't meditate, that's my mother's fault, I'm quitting, whatever. But if they know what to do and they know how to work with their body, and like training an animal, they bring the body back into the present moment, because the moment they're feeling that emotion, the body's in the past. They go, oh my God, I'm going into the past. The agitation is turning on the stress hormones. I'm going to go into high beta. I got to settle the body down. I got to tell it it's no longer the mind. And when you do that, you tell the body it's no longer the mind, you settle it into the present moment, it liberates a little bit of energy. Then it gets a little agitated again, and it gets a little frustrated again, and then it starts getting impatient, and you're not going to give up, and you work with the body again, you settle it down again, you bring it back into the present moment. It's tedious in the beginning, but like training an animal, body is the animal. Sooner or later, it's going to surrender to a new mind. And when it finally does, there's a huge liberation of energy. Now the person literally taken that emotion, they've gone from particle to wave, from matter to energy, that the information that's stored in the body is being released as energy. And now the person doesn't have to try to be more patient. They've kind of cultivated patience by not letting the body be the mind. By the same means, if you're in the habit of picking up your cell phone every 5 minutes and scrolling through it, and you're in a meditation, or you're busy and you got a lot of things to do, you're sitting in the meditation, you want to get up and you want to go and do something, you notice your body doing that. Most people say, oh, I can't meditate, I'm just going to quit. If you really want it, if you really want change, you got to execute a will that's greater than the program. You're going to bring the body back out of that predictable future into the present moment. And like an unbridled stallion, it'll buck and kick, it'll do everything it can. You just keep bringing it back to the present moment. Sooner or later, it's going to surrender to a new mind. And now the person's going to liberate energy, because the present moment is the unknown. The familiar past of feeling certain emotions and certain memories, that's the known. Living in a predictable future, where you're always busy, you got things to do and people to see and places to go, that's the predictable future. If you can predict it, it's known, right? So if you can settle into the present moment and teach the body to relax into the unknown without it being a scary place, when you can relax into the unknown like that, the body finally surrenders and it's free. Now the person's ready to create something new. Now, it just takes a little bit of understanding, it takes a little bit of practice. Once again, you give numerous times, to practice it, it gets easier and easier and easier. And usually by the third day of the event, people sit for, they don't even know how long. They forget that the body no longer bothers them. It's just like, they've just trained it, right? And so the cool part is when they go into their life and they're with their parents or with their siblings and they're smiling and they're present and they really don't have a conversation. They're just really happy to see them. The veil is gone. They're way more present. That's what the work is for. That's what it's for, to live your life and take that into your life and be that person that you want to be. Now, you said earlier, well, many people don't know who they want to be. There's a trade. And the trade is you got to come up against the person you no longer want to be. And you got to really look. And it comes up very naturally and very automatically. And a lot of people say, I wanted to leave after the first day. Like, oh, it was way too much. And I looked at the military veterans, the Navy SEALs and the Green Berets. I'm like, I want 3 things from you. Courage to feel any emotion. Love, that means it's going to reset the baseline for the trauma. You got to be able to love. And wisdom. The memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom. That's what you're going to get out of this. And you can't give up. You go all in, sooner or later. I mean, we have, again, all shapes, all sizes, all cultures, all races, all pasts, everybody's able to do it.
Do you react?
Yeah.
Do you get angry now?
Yeah. I mean, I react. The question is how long?
Do you get angry now?
I don't think it's healthy for me. I've done it enough times to know that it just doesn't serve me any longer. So I really ask myself, is this loving to you? Is this going to solve anything for you? And I usually just go, okay, take a few breaths. And sometimes, I dismiss myself from life. I take a few moments, close my eyes, get back in that place where I want to be. And I think when it's the hardest, it matters the most.
But is it